I'm at a Runza in East Lincoln today. We're near 84th and Holdrege Streets out on the eastern edge of town. And today I'm gonna be trying their buffalo chicken ranch salad. They showed it on the sign outside. They got this, it's apparently new. And besides, I probably need something healthy, or at least healthy-ish. I don't know if buffalo chicken anything can be possibly healthy, but either way, that's what we're gonna try today. So today I don't have the classic paper sack. No, I'm eating healthy, so I have a green plastic bag. Yeah, looking like I came from some organic market, but I didn't. I came from Runza. That's right, I'm eating fast food, but it just looks fancy. So let's see what's actually inside. Look at this, this is a nice size. A nice size for a fast food place salad. And honestly, you know, from here it probably looks like that's strawberries, but nope. That is some buffalo chicken, it looks like. So let's open it up and see what we got. So here's what you're getting with that buffalo ranch. You see, it's actually pretty colorful as far as fast food stuff goes. You got the, you know, dark orange of the buffalo sauce, the purple cabbage, the green. I mean, again, this isn't exactly a health nuts dream, but hey, it's a start, you know, it's something. Yeah, and the smell, it's definitely smells of buffalo sauce. So not exactly this healthy picture, but hey, listen, I'm eating at Runza, I guess, every day this summer, so does it sound like I care about health? Actually, I totally do. That would be a lie, but anyway, who cares if it's healthy or not? Let's try and see how it tastes. Look at this, I need a fork for fast food. All right, the first bite of chicken. You know, this reminds me of the buffalo wings that we used to get in school lunch, and those were like they're buffalo wings, right? So they're pretty good for school lunch quality, but you know, it's not like you're going to B-dubs, so I mean, it's somewhere in the middle here. But another thing you're getting in here, you got some feta cheese, and we got some purple cabbage, and most importantly, I guess, is the ranch. So apparently Runza's social media seems to love Runza Ranch, and I guess if their social media loves it, probably means that a lot of people do. Now, I don't really get the hype. Also, I don't really get the whole hype about Midwest loving ranch because I'm not a huge ranch guy, more Italian, but you know, don't kick me out of Kansas, guys. But I'm kind of excited about this Runza Ranch. Not only is it like a little alliteration, you know, so that's kind of fun, but like, it's ranch. See, it's just ranch. There it is. Oh, little buffalo sauce smudge. Anyway, let's try it out. You know, that combination of buffalo sauce and blue cheese and ranch kind of makes it almost seem like I'm eating like just straight up wings. And then you got the iceberg lettuce, which does absolutely nothing, kind of like that celery. It's like it's there, and so you're like, oh, good, it's a little colorful. You know, I'm not eating terrible, but like, also I'm just tasting that buffalo sauce, that ranch, and that feta cheese, and it's really delicious, and it's really rich. I don't know if it's like the best thing I've ever eaten, but it's pretty good for what it is. You know, for this, I think I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It's a unique concept, and it's not terrible. It's not something I see as like a Runza staple. I don't think I'll be ordering this, you know, by choice ever again. Wow, that sounded really harsh for a 6 out of 10, but you know, I'm glad I tried it, and I will gladly finish the rest of this meal. So for my interview for this episode, I headed down to the Lincoln Journal-Star building to speak with Nick McConnell, who's a reporter there, and he's been covering a lot of the protests and riots that have been occurring in Lincoln this past week. So here's how that interview went.
Oh man, I feel like a 5-tool player right now. I'm kind of having to do a little bit of everything. So normally what I do for the Journal-Star is like pretty basic staff writing, writing up briefs, doing short interviews with people, smaller pieces. The Journal-Star is going through kind of a round of furloughs right now, which leaves us a little bit more short-handed than we would like to be with a lot of breaking news going on, which means everybody is kind of having to do a little bit of everything. So at this point, Last few days, I mean, stuff kind of started Friday night. I came in Saturday, covered the protests and then the subsequent violence Saturday, protests and subsequent violence Sunday. Things have kind of calmed down since then, but mostly it's going down to the Capitol every day, interviewing sources, talking to the kids who are organizing this protest, and just kind of getting an understanding of their message, while also kind of pairing that with the official things we're hearing from LPD and the official things that we're hearing from the mayor, and finding ways to make that whole mess kind of condense into bite-sized pieces for our readers. You know, I've always loved Twitter. I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter, honestly. I think a lot of people do. But as I was down there on that first night, we recognized that we needed a way to update people immediately to what was going on. So that was kind of the first time I used my Twitter in like a truly journalistic sense. And so we've just been kind of using that platform and our Facebook Live to give live updates. And the other great thing about my live tweeting is it's almost a form of note-taking for me. It helps me condense my notes as I'm writing them. So sometimes instead of going back to the notes for my story, I'll just go back to the tweets. It gives me a timeline of what happened as I'm writing up a story, and it gives me visual reminders with the videos that I've put in there, exactly what was going on when. So that's super helpful when trying to condense information. You know, tear gas wasn't in the job description, but no, it was, I was out Saturday night. It was the first night covering, and I was kind of, a lot of this stuff has gone down at the county city building, or some people are calling it the Hall of Justice, where LPD's offices are. But I was down there pretty close to the line of police that was across from the line of protesters, and the first time that tear gas canisters got deployed, got a pretty good shot right in the eyes. So it's not fun stuff. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's all kind of part of the job. So I was with our photographer, Ken, when Dunker got arrested. We were at the Capitol, and he was at County City Building, which are like a block apart. And we heard in the Slack message, Dunker got arrested. And I looked at Ken and said, you better call and make sure that's not a dumb joke somebody just made. And then we found out that Dunker got arrested. I tweeted about it. And by the time we headed over in Chris's direction, he was already released and everything was okay. But those couple moments, that walk from the Capitol to the City County building was pretty tense. Those first couple nights, especially after curfew, I was a little bit concerned, but you know, I knew what we were doing was right. I knew we had every right to be out doing what we were doing. So I wasn't concerned so much for like my long-term safety and freedom. I was more concerned like, well, if I'm on the ground getting zip tied, I'm not covering the story. And so that was my bigger concern, not I'm gonna get dragged off to jail. I just wanna say the Lincoln Journal-Star has done a great job throughout this whole process, I think, trying to fill in the gaps. But just this week, as all of this stuff has kind of gone down, our head city editor has had to go on furlough. And that has been, not necessarily for me, but I know for other editors, kind of a thing where not only are you gonna have to cover more of these really tense hours, but additionally, you're gonna have to cover his typical work. And it's frustrating, I think, to be working as hard as we've ever been and knowing that we're still in a tight spot. So if there's one thing I want to say in this whole interview, it's wherever you live, subscribe to your local paper. I think we're doing vital work, especially right now. Subscribe to your local paper, support your local TV stations, support your local radio stations, and local media matters a lot in this instance, not only, I think, with the protests, but also with coronavirus.
Now, if you liked that interview, you'll definitely like my next episode where I actually talk with Chris Dunker, the journalist who was briefly arrested and detained while covering the protests in Lincoln. So stay tuned for next episode where you'll get to hear another Runza review and an interview with Chris Dunker.